Donald Trump gloated over Nikki Haley's exit from the Republican race on Wednesday, just minutes before Nikki Haley took to the stage in South Carolina to formally bow out of the race. Trump took to Truth Social, reacting to news reports of her forthcoming exit, and talked about how she got quote-unquote trounced in quote-unquote record-setting fashion on Super Tuesday, really kind of rubbing in her poor electoral performance in her face. Haley has won 2 contests in the 2024 cycle, Vermont and Washington, D.C. Trump has won everything else that he's competed in. When Haley dropped out, she stopped short of giving him a full-throated endorsement, joining the likes of Chris Christie and Mike Pence, who have also declined to do so. And this kind of really illustrates the animosity that has grown between Trump and Nikki Haley, who was previously his U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. Trump had been furious with Haley for staying in the race, but interestingly, in his Truth Social post, he was almost reminiscing on the competition that he once had. He said, quote, "At this point, I hope she stays in the race and fights it out until the end." Now, all this is a classic Trump response, but it comes against the backdrop of some sizable defections on the Republican side against Trump, who is, some people have suggested, is almost like a quasi-incumbent, given that he was previously the president. And Trump has the important task of trying to unify the Republican Party. There are some polls that are suggesting that many of Haley's voters are pretty reluctant and inclined not to back Trump in the general election, so he might have some work cut out for him. Trump's team has really shrugged off those concerns. They think that he will totally be able to unite the Republican Party behind him, and they think that those defectors that some of the polls are pegging were really kind of Democrat-leaning voters or left-leaning independents anyways. Interestingly, President Biden came out with a very, very different response to Haley's exit from the race. He said, quote, "Donald Trump made it clear he doesn't want Nikki Haley's supporters. I want to be clear, there is a place for them in my campaign." Biden said this right as Nikki Haley dropped out of the race, really drawing sharp contrast with Trump and trying to build up a coalition to take him down on November 5th. Biden is facing defections in his own party. The Democrats are having some infighting over the Israel-Hamas war. It has really divided progressives, and he's had sizable chunks of voters mark themselves as uncommitted in some of the primary contests, notably in Michigan, Minnesota, and North Carolina. During his victory speech in Mar-a-Lago, Trump largely stuck to the script and talked about unity and really refrained from attacking Haley and didn't even really mention her at all in his speech. So it seemed like he was starting to make steps towards trying to unify the party, but on Wednesday, he couldn't help himself with that Truth Social post.